Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another video. I'm here at the Edgeman Flag Park. The girls and I came just to chill, enjoy the night. And I'm gonna do some walking around this track. And yeah, I wanted to mention how I'm just getting on here and just sharing everything with y'all, but I don't really have people to talk to, and that's exactly what this video is about. Being unrelatable, or not really having people to advise you or even relate to you, even if you don't need advice, just relating, in conversation about trials. And it's not even that you go to people and tell them your business or anything. That's not what it is. But just in daily, everyday conversation, you'll have, circumstances that come up in conversation. And your circumstances is due to your particular trial. So you mention it. You only know your trial. The person doesn't know your trial. But the fact that they can't relate to you having limitations or not being able to do something due to qadr, they never related whatever you're expressing to them to qadr. Never. So people try to find solutions for you when there is no solution other than being patient. And you didn't come to them they don't know exactly what it is, but you're telling them due to just because of the conversation, it comes up. So for example, someone will ask you, oh, why don't you go here or do this or do that? And you're like, oh, well, I don't really have the ability to do that right now due to circumstances or whatever. I don't have the ability. Oh, well, why don't you? They start making suggestions, which people just want to help. I get it. They want to help. So they start making suggestions. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, that can't happen. Can't do this, can't do that, whatever. Oh, well, I don't understand. Why don't you try this, that, and the third? It's like, well, no, subhanAllah, it's just a trial. I'm not able to do certain things at the moment, Hands are tied, I tried different things. I can't. And you don't want to go all into your situation because it's not any of anyone's business. But the fact that people don't accept that you say, it's just a trial. Allah's trying me. It's a test. And it doesn't click in their minds to say, oh, well, may Allah make it easy for you or anything like that. They start to make suggestions and then make conclusions for you. Okay, well, you need to do this then. Well, you need to do that then. I'm like, no, I don't need to do this and I'm not going to do that. That's not happening. That's not a solution. But they're only telling you what they would do, right? It's like no concept of patience. It's no concept of waiting. Any situation that I'm in that feels uncomfortable, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run and I'm going to try to make it better. I'm going to try to get myself out of it. But you don't understand that if Allah places you in a situation and you don't have any other options, then you have to wait it out and you have to be patient. And there's nothing that you can do about it. It's like there's no concept of that. Or when people are placed in those situations, they don't take it as a sign. They don't take it as a time to rectify or submit. No, they go crazy. They fight. They run to people for help. They complain to everybody. Oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't, go in panic mode and fix mode. Okay, well, I have to do this. They start making crazy conclusions and making crazy moves, like I explained to you in other videos. So just know that if you're someone who is trying to actually apply the knowledge of submitting to qadr, submitting and practicing tawakkul, and knowing that acknowledging that Allah is in control of all affairs, and no matter what you try to do, it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to come forth except if Allah wills it. That our will is under Allah's will. then you're going to be alone. And you're going to have to hear things from people that may be a test for you, frustrate you, and even stir up, you know, some emotions of, okay, maybe I should try this or maybe I should try that. But if you're paying close attention to your circumstances, then you know you tried everything, and you're trying to establish patience. So what happens is it makes you not want to talk to people, especially if most people have that condition where they're trying to find solutions for you or make suggestions to you and put you in panic mode like they are, because they're wondering, why are you not panicking? Because I would be panicking. Why are you not panicking? Why are you so calm about you not being able to do this or do that? Aren't you afraid? Then they start to project doubts upon you. Oh, well, you got to do this. Or what if this happens? Or what if that happens? I'm just like, astaghfirullah. No. That's not how we think. You know, we put our trust in Allah. It's like it's a foreign idea. And that's very frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. It's extremely frustrating to be alone in that way, where you're striving on your own, or you haven't been connected with people who truly understand it. Alhamdulillah, the Muslims understand. The Arab, they understand it. They understand it. Absolutely, they understand it. But yeah, just know that you won't be relatable when you go on a journey to actually and actualize understanding qadr and submission to Allah's will, and acknowledging that Allah is the one who establishes everything for you, and you do nothing except that Allah allows you to do it. Yeah, you get tested, and no one's going to understand you, and you're going to be by yourself. So that's a trial in and of itself. That's a trial. It's tough. It's really tough. Like I said, I'm just sharing all kinds of stuff with y'all. La ilaha illallah. Alhamdulillah, my kids understand. They get it. Because I teach them. I try to teach them. And they themselves, mashallah, putting it into practice. And Ziad goes through his own things. And he overcomes and he learns. And that's the beauty of it. When you are tried, but you're putting the knowledge into application, Allah teaches you. You grow. That's the most beautiful thing about it. And you grow in contentment. And you grow in comfort. And your heart is at ease. And your chest opens up. It's not restricted. And you're not worried. That's the beautiful thing about it. That's the fruits of it. For those who value that kind of thing. It's doing inward work is something else. It's beautiful, but it's tough, and it becomes easy with Allah's help. You know, you just can't give up. You just can't give up, and you got to know that the people around you are not there to support you, and I think that's a good thing as well, because you're forced to turn to Allah and not lean on people for support. You're actually developing this perseverance for yourself, and you're building for yourself, getting stronger for yourself, not through someone else. So it's a beautiful thing, actually. Allah Mustaan. Allah Mustaan. But yeah, being unrelatable when you're growing. A sister that I know, I'll just say it's a sister that I know. And been Muslim for a long time, just like I have. And what everyone needs to know is that Allah gives you time, a time period of learning and peace and tranquility, and you feel safe and everything's going well. You have a worry in the world. But then test time comes. And most people weren't prepared, nor did they expect it. And from what I've seen, especially the community I've come from, people don't make it to the other side. They don't make it to the other side of the trial in a healthy way or strong. They don't come out strong, and nor do they come out healthy. They come out going backwards. That's how they come out on the other side, backwards. They become worse off than what they were. Because when they hit the wall, when that wall came, that trial, they didn't break through it. They didn't keep going. They gave up. Or they crumbled and went backwards after the trial was over. And the sister that I know, we were talking about that, and I was just trying to support her and advise her and tell her, like, listen, we don't know anybody. We don't know any sisters that made it to the other side. She knows my story. She knows about me. She's been my friend for, I think I met her when I was 17. How old was I? I was a teenager. Late teens. Probably 19, yeah. It was after I came from Yemen. So I've known her for years. And I said, you know, most sisters, the reason why you can't find anybody to give you sound advice is because most of them fell off. And the sisters that are around to give you advice haven't reached the wall yet. They haven't reached the point. They haven't been around long enough to reach the point of that tremendous wall, that trial that comes to you after being Muslim for a long time. So they're giving you advice, yes, but it's empty. It's not backed by experience. It's not backed by a healthy transition to the other side of the wall or the trial. And most of the sisters who met the wall after being around for a long time, they're no longer around, or they're not healthy. You see them in a bad state. So in your mind, coming from where I come from, that's the natural thing to do. Fall apart, break down. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I got to go back to how I used to be. That's what people come to. Or I'm still Muslim, but I'm just going to do the bare minimum because striving, obviously, that was too much. It brought me nothing but trials. But no, that was the tests. Because you can't claim that you're upon a lofty path of, the sunnah and not be put the test. You can't sit in classes and learn what we learn and then not be put the test and think it's just going to slide and fly like that. It's not happening. It's not happening. Allah is going to test you, no doubt about it. So when I told her, I said, you got to push through and you got to make it to the other side. Yes, it hurts. And nobody told us or warned us that this time was going to come. Like I said, I pushed through mine. I was in the middle of mine at the time I was advising her, but pushed through the hardest part of it. And subhanAllah, so I was giving her advice based off of experience. And she was crying, of course, because it's painful and you don't expect to have that kind of pain. It's like, I'm trying, I'm striving, I'm trying to obey Allah. What is going on? Why is this happening to me? Or why is this so difficult? Or you're trying to find answers. But I'm like, that's a part of the journey. You're supposed to come to a point where you stop looking at the creation and Allah wants your full undivided attention. That's it. Not the men, not the community, not the talab, not the association, not the inscription, none of that. Allah wants your full undivided attention. And if it takes you having to go through these kind of trials in order for that to happen, then so be it. But like I said, most people don't make it to the other side. And that's sad. But people need to put in their minds that trial is coming. And it doesn't necessarily hit you in the pocket. Some people are never tried with finances. People are tried with their children. They're tried with their health. They're tried with betrayal. People who used to be their friends betray them in a way that they could never imagine. Family members. They're tried in different ways that they couldn't fathom whatever happened to them. But it needs to happen in order for you to return to Allah and actually put into practice what you've learned. And that's what people need to expect. And that's what the time period of relaxation, not relaxation, but peace and tranquility that Allah gives you. That time period when you're studying, you're supposed to be building up your knowledge and your shield and your assistance for the trials. Because knowledge is what's going to help you. Knowledge, which is knowledge of turning to Allah. Those dua that you're supposed to say. Implementing patience. All that is knowledge that you have to put into practice. That you're supposed to gain when you're going through nothing. That time period is when you're supposed to build. So that He can carry you through by the permission of Allah. Bi'idhnillah, through the trial. But, for example, people don't go into the army and ask, why do I have to fight? You signed up for the army, right? Now imagine someone signs up for the military and didn't know that you had to fight. And then they put you in combat. A person's going to crumble, are they not? Because they weren't expecting it. So that's the equivalent of being Muslim, especially being Salafi. Knowledge, you're equipped with knowledge. You learn, you ascribe. And so you ascribe to a lofty path. And then the person doesn't know that a trial is coming, that you're going to be put to test. That's a musibah, that's a catastrophe. Because when it comes upon you, you're not expecting it. At least expect it. People don't want to. That's natural. But that's reality. This is life. We're supposed to be here and go through trials. You got to be tested. And Allah gives you time to build yourself up for those tests. Yeah. And that's the reason. And another reason why we should push through is so that you can help people who are going through it after you. Get strong, go through it, make it through, persevere, and help others. Help your children. Imagine your children go through trials and you can't help them because you just cried your way through and just wished it was over when it happened to you. You didn't learn, you didn't grow, you didn't learn, you didn't elevate, you didn't get any lessons, nothing. So you can't help your children either. You can't help no one around you. When they go through their trials, you have nothing for them. That's a catastrophe, is it not? I think so. All right, so, y'all know how I get. That's me. And ever since I've been learning and going through my own stuff, I'm like, okay, you gotta reflect, you gotta think, you gotta conclude, you have to utilize the text, you have to act. And no one's coming to help you. No one's coming to save you. Not one person can relate to you and save you except for Allah. So I'm just trying to pass on some encouragement, some experience to y'all because I care. I care because no one was there to care for me. You love for your sister or your brother what you love for yourself. I left my comfort zone. I left my people. I left my social network to be Muslim. And my family loved me. And I came out with the Muslims and got harmed. But I love Islam and I love the Muslims because of their Islam. So I want to give back and advise and share so that it can help the next person by the permission of Allah. And of course, Allah guides whom He wills. Allah guides whom He wills. And I feel for people. I feel for people because I know how alone I was. I do. I feel for people. And another reason why is because I can't do this in person for the most part. Alhamdulillah, for the sisters who come here after watching the channel, we can have these conversations because they expect it. But imagine somebody who never met me before. I go to a gathering and they start to bring up issues of trials or just try to talk about something deep or they think that's deep. And then I go in and start talking how I speak. That it doesn't blow over well. I get met with pushback, like I already told y'all. So at least now I have a platform where I can expose my thoughts, you know, and people who listen to me know how I think and will be able to relate to me a little bit for whatever Allah wills, of course. And then I can have a conversation, or they're willing to have a conversation and open up and be open to think and to ponder and reflect. And those are the kind of messages I get now, mashallah. Sisters, when they talk to me, they speak in a reflecting manner. And I appreciate that, because for a person who reflects to be met with individuals who don't reflect and who's always trying to fight them or invalidate them and make them think that they're crazy, that's a travesty. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling, especially when you know that the Kitab and Sunnah validates what you're saying, and that's where you find comfort in. You find comfort when you read the books, when you read the Kalam al-Ulama. That's where you find comfort. But in the everyday, the Muslim, the Salafi, you can't find comfort in them at all, when these are not strange things. These are actually from what we follow. That's terrible. So, inshallah, I will see y'all all in the next video. I appreciate you listening. Like I told y'all before in another video, this is therapy for me. It's therapy for me. And my way of giving back, you know. And I wish you all success in your hijrah, in your life, in your Islam, in your journey. May Allah grant you all success for those who want it and are striving. And that's it for the night. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Don't forget Hijrah Mandate Sacrifice. مع السلامة.